So here we have some stomach cells. We have the D cells, the G cells, and here we have the parietal cells. The parietal cells secrete hydrochloric acid, remember. And then we have the mucus cells. Here we have the enterochromaffin cell, abbreviated ECL. The parietal cells secrete hydrochloric acid into the lumen of the stomach, which is situated here through a proton pump sort of thing. The parietal cells secrete hydrochloric acid by secreting hydrogen ion in exchange for potassium ion. And then it will secrete this potassium ion again together with chloride ion, thus forming hydrochloric acid in the stomach. Simple. HCl is hydrochloric acid and helps in food digestion. So what stimulates the process of secreting hydrochloric acid? Well, as we mentioned, ECL secretes histamine, which bind onto histamine 2-like receptors on the parietal cells, which will stimulate this whole process to secrete hydrochloric acid. The G cells, which are endocrine cells, will secrete gastrin into the bloodstream. From here, gastrin will bind onto gastrin receptors on ECL, which will stimulate histamine release, which will then stimulate hydrochloric acid secretion by parietal cells. Gastrin will also bind onto gastrin receptors on parietal cells, which will stimulate hydrochloric acid secretion. The vagus nerve, part of the parasympathetic nerve, innervating the stomach area, will secrete acetylcholine, which will bind onto muscarinic receptors on both parietal cells and enterochromaffin cells, which will all promote hydrochloric acid secretion. So all these were promoting hydrochloric acid secretion. The cells and mechanisms that inhibit hydrochloric acid secretion include the hormone somatostatin, which is secreted by the D cells. So somatostatin inhibits basically the hydrochloric acid secretion. Also, inflammatory mediators such as prostaglandin E2 and prostaglandin I2, derived from arachidonic acid, inhibits hydrochloric acid secretion. Arachidonic acid, through the enzyme COX, can synthesize prostaglandin E2 and prostaglandin I2, which binds to prostaglandin receptors, which inhibit hydrochloric acid secretion by the parietal cells. Prostaglandin E2 and prostaglandin I2 also binds to and activate mucus cells to secrete mucus and bicarbonate. These are the most important substances that have a negative effect on hydrochloric acid in the lumen of the stomach, because mucus and bicarbonate essentially neutralize the acid, which prevents the acid from damaging the stomach itself.